Hello world, my name's Emma and welcome to my YouTube channel Ramble and Fangirl, where we will ramble and fangirl about anything under the sun. Honestly, just anything. This is my first video ever. As this is my first video, I thought that I'm gonna tell you 25 facts about myself, and hopefully this will kind of preempt all following videos, help everyone get to know what I like to talk about, everything that any future videos might contain. So anyways, I thought we would just get down to business. As I said, my name is Emma, and I own 3 copies of Jane Austen's novel, Emma. And I have never read the novel. I plan on reading it. I have read one Jane Austen novel previously. I read it for school, and that is Persuasion, and I loved it. And that is one of her less popular novels. So, you know, I mean, I'm gonna love Emma then, because that one's thought of as much more of a classic. And I am 18 years old, and I am currently in university. I am in my first year of university, and I plan for the next 3 years to study theater studies and English literature. What that really entails is, you know, obviously English literature is pretty self-explanatory, but theater studies is, rather than doing an acting program, I will be studying play analysis for directing and kind of looking at the non-acting side of theater, which I really, really like. I also like acting, but I really do want to direct and I want to write plays as well. So I thought that would be pretty cool to do for my university study. I am Canadian. I am from British Columbia. Canada is beautiful. I love it. I'm so proud to be Canadian. My family is Scottish, and a long time ago, my family used to work and live in a castle called Doune Castle, which some of you guys might recognize from photos as the set of Outlander, and it is the set of Winterfell for Game of Thrones, and it is the set of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. In Outlander, it is Castle Leoch. I learned the fact that it was the set of Monty Python when I was about 8, and ever since, the list has just been growing. It's pretty awesome. And I'm going to Scotland this summer, so I get to see it, which is super, super cool. So I am a Ravenclaw. Proud Ravenclaw. I love Ravenclaw. I like the other houses and I appreciate them. A lot of my other friends who are Slytherins, and a lot of friends who are Hufflepuffs. Not as many Gryffindors, but definitely Slytherins and Hufflepuffs make up a large amount of my friends. My favorite Harry Potter novel is Prisoner of Azkaban, number 3. It's also, I think, maybe my favorite movie as well. I don't know why, it's always just stuck with me. I've read that one the most, and also it's the best one. I mean, it's like the last one before things go dark, so they're gaining their own independence. They're not like kids anymore, they're actually teenagers, but I just really like it. My favorite novel of all time is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I haven't read it in a really long time, but I really, really want to reread it. I read it when I was about 13, and I loved it. I love historical novels. I love magical realism-esque novels. It's so good. It's such a good book. I would highly, highly recommend it to anyone who would like to read it. It would be a really good Netflix original show. I'm just thinking about that. But anyways, Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. A+. It's one of those books that sticks with you. And yeah, I just love it. My favorite genre, as I kind of just mentioned, is definitely urban or high fantasy or like magical realism. Just a lot of the books that I've loved over the years have fallen into that category. I think my favorite thing is when you mix a highly fantastical world with our own, because you get all those really cool high fantasy elements, but I really like it when they talk about like pop culture type things or mention things in the real world or like go to places in the real world. I don't know. I really like it. I really like pop culture references. If something has a lot of pop culture references, I'm like, this is great. I don't really know why, but that's just something that I really, really love. So I think urban fantasy is probably my favorite, with high fantasy and then magical realism being close second. My favorite books of 2018 so far have been Foolish Hearts by Emma Mills, Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertelli, and The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. I have read 11 books so far, as of the end of March. I loved these books. They were so good, and they will most definitely be made onto my favorite books of 2018 list. My favorite movie of all time is About Time. It's kind of like magical realism time traveling. It has Domhnall Gleeson and Rachel McAdams in the cast. About Time is so good and so cute and so touching and so heartwarming. It's British. I love good British humor. That's a pretty big part of my personality. My favorite movies of 2018 so far have been Black Panther and Love, Simon. Those two movies they're groundbreaking in film history, I would say. Black Panther is so good. It's a phenomenal superhero movie just like on its own, but then the fact that it is so beautifully diverse and it's just groundbreaking and so important, such an important movie. And then Love, Simon is just it's the first like major film studio movie about a gay romance, which it's overdue, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it's such a good movie. And again, so heartwarming. I love sci-fi movies. In terms of like Star Trek versus Star Wars, I don't really have an opinion, but I love them both for very different reasons. Star Wars definitely feels a lot more nostalgic just because I watched it as a kid, and then also it's got a nostalgic feel, but Star Trek really just kind of like that kind of real like discovering the universe. Like it's so cool, and I love Star Trek. And when I watch Star Trek, I'm much more like, oh my god, I could be on like the USS Enterprise. I get all these fantasies that I could like be in a spaceship, and you know, it awakens all my like, I love space. I love astronomy. Oh my god, I love astronomy so much. I have so much starry type things. It's really part of my aesthetic. And in terms of astrology, I'm a Libra. I am a theater kid. I love theater so much. I'm such a musical theater nerd. I don't have a favorite musical. You can't ask a theater kid that. Like, you like different musicals for different things. You appreciate them for different reasons. But some of my current favorite musicals are Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812, which is fantastic, and I would actually love to direct that show. I think that would just be such an amazing creative opportunity to put together that show. I have so many ideas. Female Dolokhov, if any of you know Great Comet, Female Dolokhov would be so good. And Hamilton, obviously. I mean, I've always loved theater, but Hamilton, when I was 16, really got me back into theater in terms of really intensely following new musicals and stuff like that. I'd always done theater, but the really only two musicals I listened to outside of the show that I would be currently doing was like Les Mis and Wicked, which are both great shows, but basic. They're rather basic. I also love In the Heights, Rent, The Last 5 Years, Anastasia, Spring Awakening I've just been starting to listen to. I love a good musical. And side note, I was born to the music of Les Miserables. So that's probably why I am the way I am. I have one tattoo, and that is this. You've probably seen it throughout this video, but yeah, it's just quotation marks on my wrists. For me, it's just what I say and what I do is really important for me. I'm an actress, I'm a writer, the things I say, the dialogue that I participate in, and I get to kind of fill in the blank. I get to choose what I say. I got it on my 18th birthday, and it's really nice and simple, and yeah, I really love it. And I plan on getting a lot more tattoos. Once I get more tattoos, I will most definitely do a tattoo tag video because I love tattoos. My favorite fictional character of all time is Emma Swan from Once Upon a Time. The show and Emma came into my life when I was about 14. I was struggling a lot mental health wise. I really wasn't doing well, and she's such a strong and vulnerable character, and the show is all about hope, and it was so important to my growth and my moving towards being a lot healthier and a lot happier. And she's just such an amazing role model. And I have the Emma Swan necklace. This is the necklace I'm wearing right now, and I have her red coat. Just such an amazing character. I love Once Upon a Time. I love the characters so much from that show. They're just really important to me. Some of my favorite TV shows are Sense8, Stranger Things, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Gilmore Girls, Jane the Virgin. Those are some of like my current favorites, but definitely some nostalgic ones are things like Teen Wolf and Once Upon a Time. The book characters that I most identify with are Kath Avery from Fangirl, Drew Blackthorne from the Dark Artifice series, Tessa Gray from the Infernal Devices series, Richard Campbell Gansey III from The Raven Cycle, and Simon Spear from Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda. I think they make up who I am. And there obviously are other characters that I, from time to time, really connect with or really love, because I feel like there's definitely a difference between your favorite characters and then the characters that you relate to, because a lot of my favorite characters are nothing like me. And, you know, I think that's fine. Some of my favorite book series are Percy Jackson. Like, anything Rick Riordan writes is absolute gold. I love the direction he's been moving in with all of his diversity, and I think it's awesome. And I am a little behind, truth be told, on reading some of his more recent works, but that is the goal of the summer. And any of the Shadowhunters books are also some of my favorite ones. Again, really monumental in my development as a reader. The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater is amazing, and Maggie Stiefvater is my favorite author. And The Lindburn Legacy by Sarah Reese Brennan is so good and so underrated. And the Harry Potter books, obviously, by J.K. Rowling. I tend to ship myself with a lot of characters. Definitely the number one is Bellamy Blake from The 100. He's my husband. But also Gansey and Simon Lewis and Jem Carstairs and Lydia Martin and Stiles Stilinski and Peggy Carter and Piper McLean and Percy Jackson and Killian Jones and Clark Griffin. I'm in a relationship with all of them. Don't judge me. I love them. My top 5 ships, though, because obviously I am definitely a slow burn type person, and my top 3 ships are Captain Swan, Stydia, and Bellark, and 2 out of the 3 of those are canon, and for a long time the majority of the fandom was like, they're never going to get together, and they did. So I'm assuming that Bellark will get together in season 5, because that needs to happen. And I also love Sizzy from the Shadowhunters books, and Percebeth, obviously. And my first ship of all time was Hermione from Harry Potter, which again, slow burn. All these are slow burns. All these characters took forever to get together, but they did, because I was right. And I'm so good at I'm very good at predicting relationships, guys. Just stick to my theories. I am currently writing a book, and I hope maybe that I can do some update videos on this channel, kind of like Christine over at Poland Bananas Books does. It's a urban fantasy series. It's been in my brain for so many years, and I just need to get it out of my brain. I'd love to update you guys on it. I'd love to do some update videos, so if any of you guys who are watching this first video, I would definitely love to do some book talk videos. My dream career is obviously to be a novelist. That is like the long term, what I feel like I can see myself doing for the rest of my life. But for the next like 15 years, the real dream is to be on Broadway. I love musical theater, and it would be my absolute dream to be on Broadway one day. If there's ever a Newsies revival, cast me as Catherine Plummer, please. Anyways, that's about it. Thank you for watching this video. If you clicked on it, I will definitely be making more videos in the future. It's been a kind of goal for me to start a YouTube channel since I was about 14, when I had been watching Poland Bananas books for like a year, and I was like, I want to do this, and I am now 4 years later. So this is pretty cool. And anyways, so I will be back with more videos, and thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Goodbye, world!